Hello and welcome aboard, everybody. Welcome to Lighten Up Cooking, where I take a traditional dish, lighten it up by decreasing sugar or carbohydrates or salt or fat without sacrificing taste. Today I'm going to make a traditional honey bun cake. Sometimes it's called a cinnamon bun cake, but my version is going to be low carb and no sugar added. Now I'm going to start by using my alternative flour blend, which is a mixture of almond flour, coconut flour, and an optional ingredient called xanthan gum. Now, if you would go back to some of my videos where I actually made cakes, one would be the pineapple upside down cake. I did a pound cake and a coconut cake using my alternative flour blend, and the I'm going to be using the exact same cake recipe for those cakes for this particular cake. I hope I didn't confuse you, but if you want more clarity, go back and watch those cake videos. So I'm going to start by using my, like I say, my traditional cake recipe, which is 2.5 cups of my alternative flour blend. And my alternative flour blend is made up with 2 cups of almond flour, 1/3 to 1/2 cup of coconut flour, and 1/4 teaspoon of xanthan gum. So this is the flour that I'm going to be using. My recipe also calls for 3/4 cups of sweetener, and I'm going to be using, to replace the sugar, I'm going to use this Splendor brand of Magic Baker. This is 0 sugar and 8 grams of carbs. It is a mixture of erythritol, allulose, and stevia leaf extract, and it's plenty sweet enough. It's just as sweet as sugar. 3/4 cups of this. I'm going to use a cup of plain Greek yogurt, 3 eggs, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and a cup of unsalted butter, which is what I have here. So I'm going to just blend all of my cake ingredients together, so don't mind me while I'm doing this, and then we're going to come back and make this into a honey bun cake. Okay, this is what the batter looks like with the alternative flour. You get a thicker batter than you would if you were using just a regular white flour. But this is the texture that you want. It's going to be a thicker batter. Okay, now I'm going to take my pan here. I have a 9x9 Pyrex baking dish that I have lined with parchment paper. And I want to show you, if you spray your pan before you put the paper in and then position the paper, and it just kind of stays in place if you spray your pan with a little oil. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take half of my cake batter and put it in the bottom of this pan. Just like that. And I'm going to spread it around as much as possible to get an even layer. Just like that. Okay. Get all of that in there. As much as possible. Get those corners filled in with batter. Okay. All right, but the next step is to mix the cinnamon layer. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, so for the top, for the cinnamon layer, it calls for a half of a cup of brown sugar. And I'm replacing the sugar with this pure brand of brown sweetener. And just like the other sweetener, it has 8 grams of carbs. It measures 1-to-1 like sugar. 0 glycemic index and 0 calories. And it's the pure brand of brown sweetener. So half a cup of this and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And 1 tablespoon of the baking blend. So a half of a cup of brown sweetener, 1 tablespoon of ground cinnamon, and 1 tablespoon of the baking blend that I used to make the cake. So that's what this is. And if you're not using the baking blend, you could blend just 1 tablespoon of almond flour. So what you do is I'm taking this mixture and just sprinkle on top of this first layer. And I've preheated my oven to 350 degrees. Get this all over this layer, into the corners and everywhere. All right. Just like that. Okay. Let me take the second half of the dough. I'm going to put it on top of the cinnamon mixture. So you take dollops like that. Get it all out. as much as possible. Okay. And now we carefully spread the top layer over the cinnamon and sugar mixture. Or should I say cinnamon and sweetener mixture, because we're not using sugar. Okay, like that. Just take your time and carefully spread it. And this is going much better than I thought it was going to go. I thought it was going to be way more difficult to get that top layer smooth out and everything, but it's working for me. So it looks like that. I'm going to clean up my edges a little bit. And then I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm going to let it bake for approximately 20 to 25 minutes. I'm going to watch it real closely, because with these alternative flour blends, it's easy to burn. They can brown pretty quickly. So I'm going to watch it very closely. And it may not take 20 to 25 minutes. We'll see. All right. Okay, I took it out of the oven after 25 minutes. And this is what it looks like. Browned up nicely. All right, so I'm going to put my cake aside. And now I'm going to make the glaze. Now for the glaze, we need 3/4 cups of powdered sweetener. And this is a brand that I like. It's the Swerve brand of confectioner's sweetener. And just like the other sweeteners, it's this only has 3 grams of carbs, 0 calories. It's natural, tastes, bakes, and measures like sugar. And it's the Swerve brand of powdered sweetener. So 3/4 of a cup of this sweetener, and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. And I think I mentioned cornstarch when I was giving you the measurements for the cinnamon and brown sweetener mixture. But don't put cornstarch in that. That was supposed to have been 1/2 cup of brown sweetener and 2 tablespoons of ground cinnamon. And then for the cornstarch is for the glaze. So I hope I didn't confuse you with that. All right, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract goes into the powdered sweetener and the cornstarch. I'm gonna put a little more than that. Okay, and you're to add as much milk, or you could use water, to get this to the consistency that you want. So I'm going to use water. doesn't matter, either one. Okay, put another drop. And I think that's a good consistency for the glaze. Okay. Just gonna pour it on here. Oh, my cake is coming through. It's kind of sticking to the cake. Okay, that's not quite enough. I think I need to make a little more. Okay, so I made up another batch of the glaze. So just double the glaze measurements, and that should be enough. Okay, and just pour it all on here, like that. Like that. All right. Now this has to set up for a while, and then I'm going to refrigerate it, let it set up, and then we'll come back and do the taste test. Okay, you all. So it has set up. So I'm going to take it out of the can. I hope. Here we go. Remove the parchment paper. All right, let's cut into it and see. What it looks like. Let's see. It smells so good. That cinnamon. Oops. Look at there, you all. Look at that. Yummy, yummy. So just cut a few more squares. Put them up here. Y'all see that? So far, so good. I'm pleased with the turned out. Look at that. You guys, it's moist. It's sweet. It's cinnamony, if that's a word. Texture is perfect. This is scrumped delicious. And I hope you all will give it a try. I want to tell you though, if you decide that you don't want to use my bacon blend, you could always buy this product. This is a Duncan Hines yellow cake mix. Get the one that says keto friendly. It's made with almond flour and coconut flour blend. So that's always an option. Now, it's going to be less expensive to make my bacon blend and just use that. Especially if you're going to bake a lot, like I do. I love to bake, and I love cakes. But for an occasional dessert, if you don't want to deal with having to make your own bacon blend, this is a good option. So, I just thought I would throw that in. Thank you all for watching. And until next time, share a smile with someone. It will lighten up their spirit and yours too. Bye now.